Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the GioMoShow in the back room of the WXOU studios, not live on 88.3 FM like it usually is, although it will be soon, as I will be getting back into the studio one of these days. And I am joined here in the back studio, interrupting him from his wonderful work. I have the General Manager of WXOU, Logan Pizzurro, here in the GioMoShow with me. How you doing, Logan?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Fantastic. Happier for having you here.
Yeah.
And you know, I've worked with you for probably going on 2 years now. October.
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
October 2021 is when I started the GioMoShow, and you've been nothing but helpful, cooperative, and just wanting everybody to do the best they can here at the station. So for me, I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you for doing all that you do with the sports and everything. It's been great.
Jokes on all of you. I brought him on just so he can compliment me.
That's why I hired you.
So I brought you on the show here I wanted to know like your kind of background in radio and like basically how you got to this spot here. That's the goal of a lot of the interviews here I do here on the GioMoShow. So let's kind of start with your origin story. Kind of, I guess, how did you get your start in radio, in media? Like, where'd that all come from?
Yeah, so really I kind of started in 8th grade. I went to Avondale, and Avondale has their own high school radio station there, biggest one in the state of Michigan.
Woo woo.
WAHS 89.5. And I was in a leadership class, and I wasn't even a part of this group that ended up doing a radio PSA for their project, but they were having like a book drive, and I just was like, oh, the radio, that's cool, because like he had Mr. Thornborough, the teacher, he had like said there's all sorts of different things that you can take advantage of. The radio station has even reached out a couple times and can do that. And it's like, yeah, why not? Why not do that? So I ended up writing a script for it, and got the actual people that were in the group to record some of it. I recorded some of it as well. Yeah. And was on the air. And then after that, when I got into high school next year, I signed up for a radio class over there, learned more about the station. The radio teacher remembered me from the year before. Nice. And then I just started getting more involved. I became student manager of the radio station, did a lot of stuff in terms of, live shows, pre-recorded shows, made PSAs, liners, the whole 9 yards, did remote broadcasting in sports. I like in 10th grade we were broadcasting the football games and everything.
Oh yeah,
coming up with just as much dodgy solutions back then as we do now. But yeah, that's kind of the main gist of it. And then Marty, I actually ended up hiring Marty, or helping hire Marty. It was a decision by the students over at Avondale, who is our faculty advisor here at the station.
Marty Schaefer.
Marty Schaefer.
We love Marty here.
Yeah. And he was like, hey, you're going to Oakland. Why not be a part of the radio station?
Yeah.
And so then I hopped on, was the music director here, and next year, GM. So that's sort of the very quick history.
No, and that's interesting to me, because for me, I went to Dakota High School, and Dakota is the biggest high school in the state.
Yeah.
But we don't have a radio station. We don't have a big like kind of production or media kind of side to it. We got a newspaper, but it's interesting to see. I'm curious how it kind of ran in high school for a radio station. Like how much was I'm assuming like one of the teachers was in charge of it. So I'm curious like how much. What was the cooperation like?
So it was, the radio program had basically started from fresh, basically again. It had started back in 1975, and it kind of just went dormant for a few years. And Keith, our engineer here, he also works at Avondale. He works on Avondale's radio station. He had the crazy idea of making the radio station, I think it's 2,600 watts. And so it reaches all of Oakland County and most of Macomb County.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's huge. A high school radio station that large is like basically unheard of. I mean, I think Bloomfield has a relatively large, or I don't know how big the BIF is, but I know we can hear the Bloomfield's radio station from here, at least. But anyways, but when I joined, because it was so new, basically, it was very small.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I had for my radio introduction class, I was in a class of 11.
Oh wow!
And that was
in a high school, yeah.
That was the biggest so far. Yeah,
Jeez.
it was pretty crazy. But now it's definitely grown a lot. Marty is actually the radio teacher now. He was really before just strictly like general manager over there. And Mrs. McNee was the radio teacher, but she's also like an actual English teacher as well. So she was like kind of juggling both things for a little bit. So she's now just, I believe she's still over there as the English teacher. And now Marty's taken over the radio side of things, but it's pretty interesting, the whole collaboration. Obviously it's still structured like a class, so you're still like writing PSAs, you're in groups of people, but you're actually making products, putting them on the air. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. For me, like I feel like I would have jumped right on that in high school. Like I kind of had like a teaser with it. I did morning announcements. I did PA announcing for a softball game. So it basically as much as I could with without the actual radio station being there at Dakota. So for me, it's awesome to hear that you got that start pretty early here, and that basically gave you most of the experience needed to run the station here at Oakland. So I'm curious, like what. Now, as the general manager of WXOU, kind of what's the day-to-day? What are all, besides the problems I ask you about and reach out for you about, I'm curious, like, what's the kind of day-to-day of the general manager like?
Well, currently, the day-to-day things is trying to get stuff upgraded. We've been in a battle for, I think I was actually told today, it's been like about 5 years.
Oh, my God.
Trying to get some of the stuff upgraded, but we're almost there. We're almost there.
You're telling me some positive feedback from a meeting today.
But really, it's just, kind of keeping tabs on everything. I mean, kind of mainly just standard managerial work, I guess. Stuff that you would kind of expect, dealing with the finance side of things, managing the budget, making purchase orders, helping out with anything I can. But especially right now during the summer, it's a little bit less,
a little bit more easygoing.
A little more just kind of coming in, checking on things, hanging out for a little bit, see if anything catch on fire or if we're still smoke free.
And everything has happened besides actually lighting on fire at the station.
Everything's at like a nice smolder.
It's warm.
It's a controlled burn.
So for I guess a little background for me, I became part of the radio station's staff here. You made me the sports media director here at the station in about was it February? I believe like late February.
First went on to ESPN.
So that snagged you. That was that must have been late January then. That must have been a little bit earlier. I remember like you kind of like we were done with the basketball game. We were walking by and you just kind of asked me like, why do you like working at the station here? And not even like, I thought you were just kind of being nice and having conversation, but you had devious plans with it. And I just kind of was saying like, what it's kind of like a second dream for me being here at the station and being able to do that, being able to do the sports stuff is just, and it's kind of come naturally to me. And to kind of, I thanked you in the beginning, but to kind of thank you again for now actually bringing me on the staff and kind of giving me a bigger role in actually doing the stuff that I would want to do anyway. So once again, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, we really appreciate you having you here. I mean, it's been great. I mean, really, with the combination of you, Ben, and Harj, just basically resurrecting the sports programming from scratch. From ground zero. Ben did a lot of work on that, and huge credit to him as well. But you guys really continuing what he laid down, it's really cool. Yeah, and Gavin as well, and just
we got Ben, Gavin, Harj, Matt, we even Jake, and like we've had a lot of help with the sports team here. Ben Schrader was the former sports director here at the station. And to kind of fill in the gap here for those who weren't aware, we started doing live sports in this past fall of 22, and I remember it was like maybe late September, early October. I got word from our promotions director, Sydney Rauch, that like, hey, we're doing a live sports thing. I'm like, are you serious? Like, I was like starting to shake, and like I had to get out of this thing.
Yeah.
And Ben just had like such a big picture for it, and it did, like kind of had us all sit down on a Tuesday night. Gave basically like a super inspiring speech. I thought there was like a movie crew around. Like he was hyping me up. He was hyping us all up.
Oh jeez.
So
I don't doubt that for a second. That's...
he quoted like Mighty Ducks or something, like something in there, some random movie, you know.
Yeah.
But so I guess that kind of leads into this question for growing the sports side of things here, kind of like you were saying, from the ground zero. What's that been like in terms of like your workflow and just kind of the development of that, having basically an extra section of it?
Yeah, I've really
station.
been watching from afar for the most part. I mean, I've kind of been there to help out with any questions, but I mean, I don't know too much about sports or OU athletics, or really anything. So it was really Ben was more the one filling me in than me giving him advice, you know, because he was the one going over to Giz, asking all sorts of stuff, having meetings with him, and even like thinking up sponsorship plans and stuff like that. So I really was either the one to tell him like, this is going a little too far, or like like we're thinking a little too big.
Yeah, come down to earth a little bit.
Yeah, because he really did. You know, he had big plans for it, and I really admire his passion that he has for sports broadcasting and everything. It was really cool to see. But yeah, I mean, in terms of actually building it, just watching it grow so quickly. I mean, that was the thing. I mean, like, no one really had much training. I think Ben had called a couple hockey games here and there, really, but I mean, like, none of you guys have had any prior experience.
Yeah, we were kind of thrown to the wolves with it.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's how difficult it can be. I mean, I don't know too much sports, but I broadcast a game here or there on in high school.
Yeah, part of your class.
And no, not even part of it. Was strictly because we're like, we want to stream the baseball game or football games.
Yeah.
But we don't have enough people. I guess I'll do it.
Okay.
I think I set the 53rd yard line at one point. I don't. It was raining. Well, first of all, we were going up against, like, I think it was Pontiac. They were white numbers on white jerseys. I could not make it.
Oh, God. What?
Second of all, it was raining, and they kept on dropping the football a lot.
Yeah.
And I said, man, the ball keeps slipping out of their hands. I guess the ball is just too wet to play with.
Oh.
And then we proceeded to mute our mics for about 12 seconds.
You couldn't hold it together.
No. Well, as soon as I said it, I was like, damn it. So, yeah.
So it sounds like you had some pretty good calls. The 53rd yard line and the wet ball.
Yeah.
The two wet ball.
I'm great with sports ball.
Not to twist the knife or nothing, but
I don't know really anything about basketball. I called a basketball game alone. I had no color commentary.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't even had to do that.
It was literally just like, all right, and he passed the ball. He passed the ball again, and would you know it?
Yeah.
Another pass.
No, and that took a while for me to kind of get used to, because I never called a game in that nature, especially something as fast as basketball.
Oh yeah.
Like before doing basketball, we did like a soccer game, we did a volleyball game, just to kind of learn more of the system, more or less, or not so much actual sports casting. But basketball is so fast, keeping up with the names and doing play-by-play and passing. I didn't even know like terminology, like top of the key is like top of the 3-point line.
Right,
All that stuff I kind of learned like as I went. So I can only imagine in high school doing that by yourself, like that. Like I said, I never even had to do that.
Yeah, it was comical,
yeah,
to say the least. I think that best describes it.
Yeah, and especially like seeing for you, like having that kind of experience. But in other high schools, I remember we were at the Great Lakes Media Show in Lansing this past March, and some of the high schools winning those awards, I'm like, my God, it sounds like us in college.
Oh yeah.
Like it's when you kind of see it in a grand scheme of things, like there is a lot of talent out there for radio,
sure.
and just to see it in high school, it kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty crazy. I mean, Plymouth Canton, they're typically the ones that win Station of the Year, and they really do a great job. I mean, yeah, and like a lot of the other high schools, I believe, do you remember like the TV side of things? I don't remember what the high school was that won.
I can't remember, but I remember it being just like two people represented there. Like they went up and it was just a guy and a girl holding up the award. I'm like, that's it?
Yeah.
Or maybe that's all who can make the trip, but like it made the team
look.
It made it look like seem like it was just the two of them running it. I'm like, there's no way.
Right.
There's no way.
Yeah. No, it's honestly really impressive. What can be done within the high school scene of things. I mean, it's pretty cool.
So to kind of wrap things up here, a bit of a mini conversation here with the general manager of WXOU. Yeah. We have those gold records on the wall. Mm-hmm. Station of the Year 13, 14, 15?
12, 13, 14. Yeah.
12, 13, 14. So, and it's been a bit of time since then. I even had a lady out in the hallway. She said, "Hey, are you guys winning it this year? What about 2023?" I go, "We're working on it."
Yeah.
So, from your perspective as a general manager, what does it take to win Station of the Year for college, for a radio station of the year? What has to happen here at WXOU to get to those heights again?
Really, I think a big part of it is like repetition. I think that's one thing that because practice makes perfect type of thing. Yeah. I think if we definitely make a lot more products, whether it's just little promos here, there, or quick little PSAs, mm-hmm. Or even with the sports, we're doing all basketball games, and right now all like softball and baseball, is it?
Or sort of all of them, but as many as we can.
Yeah.
As many as we can, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think really just kind of doing that and figuring out what works, what we can improve on, and just a lot of self-analysis. I think that's one thing that really would help out. Another thing is just manpower. Volunteer for WXOU if you're an Oakland University student, please.
We love volunteers. I started here as a volunteer, and I'm a mechanical engineering major. You don't have to be in media, in journalism, and
computer science.
Yeah, exactly. You're computer science here, and even Harj, our sports director, is like health sciences and stuff. Gavin, who just called the baseball game, is also mechanical engineering. So for this kind of business, like it's more about experience than education. So if you're at all interested in joining the station, having a volunteer show, or doing a podcast with us, then we're more than happy to have you.
Yeah, Sid's a theater major.
Yeah, exactly. There's very few of us that are actually like media, like broadcasting majors.
I'm actually trying to think right now. I don't think anyone that's working at the station right now is a broadcast major. I think Jamie was broadcast adjacent of some sort. I don't.
Yeah, she was something related to it. Yeah. Jamie Starr, our now graduated program director,
with a minor in theater. So it's like everything we accept everyone.
as long as you have like kind of the determination, mm-hmm. The business itself is like stuff breaks. You got to work through it, and you got to still have the passion to kind of push through it. Mm-hmm. So as long as you have that, you can really go anywhere in this industry, this field, or even if it's just for fun.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just like, if you do something here that's not related to your major, it's not like it's not going to help you in some way.
Exactly.
Like I'm sure there's definitely skills that can be applied, whether it's like public speaking or writing, programming, there's
time management, basic stuff like that.
Like, there's also just like there's a lot of stuff that goes into the station for sure. Like a lot of different aspects. Graphic design, even audio engineering. So yeah, it's pretty massive. But the thing that you had asked was more people. I think more people. More people.
Well, you heard the man.
No, I mean more than just that. I mean, kind of, I guess, more time put into it, which is definitely really difficult with a smaller team. I mean, we've been trying to build up since post-pandemic when we've definitely started growing a lot more once again. So I think with how many determined people we have at the station right now, I think it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being part of it, being, kind of help running the sports thing and, kind of help any other way I can. So watch out for us. 2023 and beyond, WXOU is going to be on the stage at the Great Lakes Media Show or wherever else they hand them out. Is it just the Great Lakes Show?
I mean, there's also the National Association of Broadcasters that they...
We'll see you there.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Logan, thank you very much for coming out to the GioMo Show here. I've always wanted to kind of know your background a little bit because we've talked so much here and there, but to kind of get to the root of who Mr. Pizzurro is, it's been fantastic having you on the show. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you everybody for listening here on the GioMo Show. We're going to be live in the studio as always Thursdays at 6 for your Oakland sports update and more interviews to come.